Hi and welcome. My name is Fredrik Wangler and I'm here to guide you through this Nordic Island Adventure Race. This is a live broadcast and we will be viewing this for the first 3 hours of this approximately 6-day course. During this event we will have 2 reporters out in the city, Jari Palonen and Lina Sjöström, that will hopefully get some glances of the teams as they rush through the city. We'll also hopefully do some interviews with some interesting guests, and we will talk a lot about the teams as well. With me in the studio, I have Johan Strandberg. What will the participants go through in the next couple of days?
Well, the participants has a quite spectacular course ahead of them. I've spoken to some of the contestants this morning, and they are all very excited about this paddling. But we are going to...
The paddling is the good stuff, anyway.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course. We will show you an overview of the map, of the race map. And we will guide you through the different legs of the race.
Yes.
Yeah, this is actually the first leg. It's a city orienteering on a map from the 17th century. We will get back to that later, and the difficulties that it will impose on the contestants.
Yeah, Stockholm doesn't look the same nowadays as it does in this map. Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
But the first overview of the different legs.
This is the live tracking that we will be using to comment on, and we can see where the teams are located in the city.
Right now they are all located in the hotel at Brunkebergstorg.
Yes, all of them are closely gathered.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say. And this is the overview of the entire race course that will start here in Stockholm, and the teams will make their way to Åbo in Finland via Åland.
So the first leg, the start is an abseil from the hotel, from the rooftop of the hotel. Then they will take on this city orienteering. After that, there will be a pack raft, which, for those of you who doesn't know, is where you can choose if you want to go paddling in an inflatable kayak or run.
Yes.
After that, mountain biking to the coastline of Sweden.
Yeah.
Kayaking to Åland is the leg number 5, and the leg which most of the contestants have pointed out as a key leg is the 6th leg, which is the swim run.
It is the world's longest swim run.
Yeah, most probably.
Yeah.
Most probably. Someone said that this will be the first time ever that someone has been in a wetsuit for 16 hours straight.
Yeah. And that is after you have competed for almost 48 hours already.
Yes.
That is a tough one.
Yeah. Following up the swim run is the trek. So those tired feet won't get much rest until it's time for a long trek. And then changing for the kayak, going to Finland, and the pack raft before ending up in Finland and mountain biking.
Yeah. So the teams will see a large part of this beautiful archipelago between Sweden and Finland. And that might be an extraordinary experience for many of the teams. There are actually only 3 countries in the world that has an archipelago that looks like this, that can be defined as an archipelago. It is Sweden and Finland that we will see, the teams will see during this couple of days. And then it's Chile. And we don't have any teams from Chile today. No. We have 23 teams from 15 different countries that we will present later, but none of them are from Chile. Okay, what does the weather conditions look like?
Well, the weather in Sweden this summer has been very, very hot, or at least by Swedish standards. So we can expect that the water temperature is rather high. However, this morning we had a quite heavy rainfall. It seems like it's just cloudy right now, and about 20 to 25 degrees today.
Okay.
Quite humid, actually.
Yes. I actually went for a short run this morning, and it was the first time in 2 months that I could be running without breaking out in a sweat before I even hit outdoors. So it was also a good night's sleep when the temperature was below 20 degrees in my bedroom. Do you think that the teams have gotten much rest this night?
They looked quite relaxed this morning.
Okay.
They had breakfast. They were sorting out their routes on the maps. They got the maps this morning, and there was a lockdown for 4 hours, during which they couldn't use their cell phones, no Wi-Fi, no connection to the outer world. So they were concentrating on the maps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's go and look at an interview with some of the teams. We can comment on later.
Morning, my name's Craig Bycroft, and this morning we were in the lockdown, and this is where all the teams get their maps. They get about 3 hours to do all their planning before they start the race. Before this time, they've only got a general outline of what they're doing, so this is the first chance that they've actually got to see the map and really plan where they're going.
So we're doing maps right now. We have 4 hours to plot out the trails we're gonna use, and the navigators are really busy. I am writing down all the checkpoints so we know where to find them, and then we're gonna start the craft work with plastics and get the maps waterproofed.
Yes. So there we could see the teams organizing all their maps, and we actually were able to get hold of a few of the maps ourselves. We have our entire table filled with different maps here that we're trying to sort out. What do you think? Will it be a lot of different choices to make when you're deciding which route to take, and if you go by swim or run or pack raft or run?
Yes. In fact, I think that this competition has succeeded to make the orienteering quite central. Already today, I think that we might be able to see some different choices of route that might actually have an effect on the race.
Outcome of the race. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Right now, they're drawing on the maps because they can sit down and make decisions calm and easy.
Yes.
When in the field, when being tired, it's not that easy anymore. So people are using different strategies, using highlighters or markers of any kind, or numbering system. The teams have come to different strategies when it comes to navigation.
Okay. So we will soon go and listen to an interview with someone. No? Oh, it's already 6 minutes to start. So
yes.
We will go live to our reporter Lina Sjöström at the hotel. And Lina is an experienced adventure racer, and she will tell you more about it now.
Okay, thank you and welcome to the starting area for the Nordic Island Adventure Race. We are here at the Brunkebergstorg in the city of Stockholm, and as you can see here, there is a crowd coming up here to cheer for the teams that are getting ready for the start that will take place in about 5 minutes. And here on the rooftop of the hotel downtown camper, the teams are preparing for the first leg, which is an abseil down from the rooftop. It's about 30 meters, and every team member must do the abseil, one person at a time. And I think it would take about 30 seconds for each team member to do the abseil. And when all the team members have finished this first leg, they will continue with orienteering running leg in the central part of the city. And now when it's only a few minutes left until the start, I can imagine that the teams are feeling excited and a bit nervous. Earlier this morning, all the teams went down to something called a lockdown, which is where they don't have any access to their phones or internet. And during this time, they also get all the maps for all the legs. So this morning they have been planning route choices and starting to prepare for the upcoming days. And yeah, as we can see, there are high-fiving up on the roof and looking down, and yeah, they're starting to look really ready for this quite spectacular start of the Nordic Island Adventure Race. And this race is it's the 6th race in the Adventure Racing World Series, and it's the first time in many years we have a race here in Sweden and in the Nordic Islands, Nordic countries, and this course will take the teams from Stockholm, where we are right now, here at Brunkebergstorg, and the hotel downtown camper, all the way to Finland. So they have quite some days ahead of them, and they have been here for a few days now, preparing and packing all the gears and planning food and sleep strategy, or whatever might be needed to be ready for this race. And as I said, this is the 6th race in the Adventure Racing World Series, and after this race we have another one in the US in September, and after that we have the final, the World Champs in November. That will be organized by the French organization and will take place in an island called Reunion Island. And I think we're having some of the teams here at the starting line that will be there too. Okay, so now it's only 1 minute left until the start. And as we can see, all the teams are ready now. We're having 23 teams on the starting line, representing, I think it's 9 different countries. And they are... it's a lot of noise here right now, and we're starting to get close to the final countdown for the Nordic Island Adventure Race. Yes, you can see here we're having the crowd cheering for all the racers, and this will for sure be a spectacular start of the Nordic Island Adventure Race. The teams will now do the first leg, an abseil down from the hotel downtown camper. It's 30 meters, and I think it would take about 30 seconds for each team member. And in adventure racing, all the team members must do the same activities, so all 4 members must do the abseil. One person at a time. Each team have their own rope, and it's really, really close to the start now. They look strong and confident. Okay, they are off. And as you can see, it's it's very, very cool with all the teams abseiling down from the rooftop. And we have already 3 teams that have coming down, and now we have other teams, and it's a lot of activities, and looks like it's a bit heavy to get the rope through the abseiling thing, and the people that the team members that are down already will now wait for their team members to also get down. Yes, you can see almost all teams are down now. And as I said before, we have 33 teams here on the starting line with a great mix of experience. We have a lot of teams that have been racing in the Adventure Race World Series before. But we also have a couple of less experienced teams. They are doing their first really long race. And we have actually 9 Swedish teams on the starting line, and we have 2 Spanish teams and 6 French teams. 1 team from Finland, 1 team from Estonia, 1 Dutch team, 1 team from Canada, 1 Czech team, and 1 Mexican-US team. And the winner of this race will receive a free entry for the World Champs that will take place at Reunion Island later this year in November. But now we are here at Brunkebergstorg, sending live from the starting area of the Nordic Island Adventure Race. And we have the first team having their second team member abseiling down from the rooftop of the hotel downtown camper. And the second team has also started the abseil now. It's quite tight. They are close to each other. All the teams consist of 4 persons, and they are in the main. Consists of 4 people, and to compete in the main class, you need to have a mixed team. But actually, on this starting line, we have a team with only female, which is not that common. And I also think that they are doing their first expedition race. So we will cheer for them and wish them luck here on the course. And the whole course consists of 11 legs that will cover over 600 kilometers. And this is the first leg, the abseil, about 30 meters from the hotel roof. And you can see that a few of the teams are struggling with the ropes. It looks like the ropes are quite heavy. and it's quite common that you have some sort of rope activities in these type of races. And except from rope climbing or abseiling, the teams will run and trek. They will be biking, they will be kayaking, they will be swim running, and they will be pack rafting. And I think we have the third member of the team coming down now. And it's very it's very tight between the different teams. They are doing well. Yeah, and as you can see, there's a lot of people gathering here to cheer for the teams, and after they have completed this first leg, they will be heading off for an orienteering section in the central part of Stockholm. And after that, they will do a pack raft section, which means that they will switch by running and paddling in inflatable kayaks, where you sit 2 people in each kayak. It looks like the teams are moving fast down from the roof. And actually we have on the starting line of this race, the Nordic Island Adventure Race, we have 4 teams from the top 10 ranking. The Adventure Racing World Series have a ranking list, and the ranking is based on the team's 4 best results over the previous 2 years of participating in the Adventure Racing World Series events. So that's something we were proud of, to have 4 teams from the top 10 ranking, and that is the Estonian Ace Salmon team, the Swedish Armed Forces, Hagler Silva, and French team Agderide Adventure. But we don't only have these experienced teams, we also have teams that are doing this type of race for the first time, which is very impressive to do such a such a long race for the first time. It's a race over 600 kilometers that will take the teams here from Stockholm, Sweden to Turku in Finland. And for the best teams, it will take about 3.5 days. But for the less experienced team, it will take about 5 to 6 days to complete the full course. Yeah, and as we can see, the last team members starting to get down now. It is a bit tricky, and some of the teams really struggling with the ropes. It's like almost like they're getting stuck, and that can depend on that the ropes are quite heavy because they're are very long. It's about 30 meters abseiling down from the hotel roof. And it's a very spectacular start, and a lot of activities and a lot of audience here to cheer on the teams and support them. After this, when all the team members are done with the abseil, they will continue with an orienteering leg in the center part of Stockholm. And that leg is about 6 kilometers. And after that, they will get back here and get the pack rafts for the third leg. That is about 16 kilometers. And we'll also take them here around in the central part of Stockholm. Now we have, I think we have a few teams that are done with the abseil part now. They are really fast with their rope work. It looks like they are experienced and have practiced rope, this type of rope work before. And especially for the teams that have been competing in these type of races before, they are used to do this type of abseiling. And now we can see, there are a few more teams left on the wall of the wall of the hotel.
This bluestone has a script on it that they're gonna have to receive on.
They are working very well and very fast. You can't be afraid of heights when competing in adventure racing.
Here we have the first team. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Okay.
Really fast with there by Simon Niemi. Coming down.
For the camera. While you sitting down, you're an amateur. I don't play about, bring out the next challenger.
Okay, I just see here I have a few words with the race organization and Staffan Björklund. Can you tell us something about the start?
So we just did the start now, and people were really excited. We had a lot of people here. I don't think we ever had this many people on an adventure racing start before, so I was really excited to see so many come out here. Now the last people are coming down the facade.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna go out on the city orienteering, and I guess you can see the map. It's a map from the 16th century they're gonna navigate through. Then finally they come back here, and next spot that is really spectacular to see is the Sicklaslussarna by Hammarbybacken. And we have something called the Red Bull Neptune Steps there, where they're gonna climb the locks and swim in the locks. So we have still some fun action coming up after this spectacular start.
Yeah, it has for sure been a spectacular start. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a few teams still doing the abseil, but they're starting to get ready for the second leg, which is a orienteering in the central part of Stockholm. And as you can see, they are moving fast down from the roof.
We hope you keep on following this race. These first hours, you can still keep on following them. They're going to be in the old town, running around. Then they're going to move on to Hammarbybacken and Sicklaslussarna.
Okay, so the final teams are getting down now from the abseil, the first leg. They're cheering. That's a lot of people gathering here to support their friends. And we're having 9 Swedish teams on the starting line. I think all of the Swedish teams are done with the abseil now. And when all the team members are done with the abseil, they're going to continue with the orienteering leg in the center part of Stockholm. Yeah, it has been a great start here from Brunkebergstorg and downtown Camper. We have seen all the 23 teams coming down from the rooftop. Yeah, you can't be afraid of heights doing this. We are done from here and we'll get back to the studio. So thank you.
Thank you, Lina. We had to cut you off because the Swedish Armed Forces are rapidly approaching the next checkpoint, which is the City Hall of Stockholm. And at the City Hall, we have our live reporter, Jari Palonen. And we go over to Jari now.
We're live. Okay, welcome to Stockholm City Hall. My name is Jari. I am an adventure racer. I've been racing for 20 years, but I'm injured now, so I'm on the other side. And we're here. It's CP2, I think, and the first team just passed through. It was Swedish Armed Force Adventure Racing team, the Swedish team with New Zealander Sam Clark. So now we're going to follow the team here on spot. And you see the checkpoint, it's just under the statue here. So here is another team. And they have, as you've seen, have repelled from downtown Camper. And now they're on a running leg around like 6 Ks, and after that is a pack raft around central Stockholm. So 2 teams have been here at the CP2 at Stockholm City Hall. It's crowded here, but it's a great place, and now it's like Swedish summer and really good adventure racing weather. All right, so now it's the prologue, and the prologue is always really fast. It's a high pace, and all teams want to be in the front. It's always good to be in the front because it helps you if you like navigate with the other team with a good navigator, and so it's good to have a good high pace from start. But I think they also take it a little easy because it's a long race, and it's a lot of distance to handle, and yeah. So now we're here. No more teams yet, and it's a bit tricky. I don't know if they speak something about the orienteering. It's not the best map. It's a kind of older map with not so much details. So it's a little tricky orienteering, and I think it's much easier for the local team and the Swedish team, of course. But I think it's a little harder for the teams from the other countries, not from here. So we'll see what's happened, but it's easy to find the CP here. It's really obviously where it is. So the first 2 teams have been here. I don't know the second team, but the first team was Swedish Armed Forces, and now is the Swedish team with Morten and Jonas and Simon. So you see, I mean, it's only the first checkpoint after the abseiling, and it's already some distance between the teams. So it's I think it's quite hard orienteering actually, but because otherwise it should be much tighter. So about the course, it's about like 600 k's, a little more, and it's gonna be of course running and mountain biking and kayaking and pack rafting and swim running. And for me, when I'm now on the other side, I can see the race. I think the swim run gonna be really hard. Here's Sweco Adventure Racing. They are now on the fourth position. So I think now it's going to be quite tight. All the teams going to come in here. Here's the Finnish team with Petri Forsman from Finland, the former world champion, and still going strong. He was racing for like 20 years ago, the first adventure racing in Sweden, the Endless Odyssey, manufactured and produced by Erik Ahlström. Also a race that I did, the first adventure racing race in Sweden. It was from Narvik to Kiruna, I think, to Nikkaluokta.
Yeah, they prefer to student.
Okay, and now we're going to leave the city hall and over to the studio. Fredrik.
Thank you, Jari. Yes, you said something about the orienteering being difficult, and I can understand that since the team has this 1600 century map, and the Stockholm has changed quite a lot. There have become bridges that aren't there in the old map, and some bridges have been gone away. And if we follow the live track, we can actually see that the teams are scattered all over the city right now, but we don't know how much we can trust this GPS positioning system here. As you can see on this map that we have here, the old map, the first checkpoint number 2, was the city hall, and it was just farmland in the 17th century. How difficult is it to navigate in a map like this, Johan?
Well, of course, as you can see, if you compare this map to the modern one, the difference is drastic. Normally, if you have a map which is not updated on trails and tracks, etc., you can at least use shores of lakes, or you can use the terrain. But in Stockholm, also the shoreline and the terrain has changed.
Yes.
So there is not very much to depend on on this map.
Yeah. For example, the Brunkebergsås that we can see here on this map is just the
ridge in the middle of the picture is not visible anymore.
No.
You can
see it on the names of the map on the streets, perhaps. Yeah.
So of course, being Swedish and being a Stockholmer, that will give you an advantage.
Yes.
We
could see that the French team was the second one at the city hall.
I guess that they can use the compass, of course, and then they can try to use some of the streets that is on this old map.
Yes.
They are actually quite the same in the older parts of the city.
Yes.
But otherwise, they have to use compass or shoreline where that is possible.
Yes. and the shorelines, as you said, have changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And as a Stockholmer, it's quite easy to see Västerlånggatan and Österlånggatan and Skeppsbron in the old city. But if you've never been to Stockholm before, that might be difficult today.
Yeah, the island, the Western Island on where checkpoints 2 and 3 are, looks like farmland, as you said.
Yes.
But they are all built, and the lake just northeast of that island has been filled up to a great extent.
Yes. Klarasjön. We can see the next checkpoint is checkpoint number 3. That is a place called Bolindersplan today, if you want to go out and see where the teams are going. Klarabergsviadukten is going the bridge between Kungsholmen and Norrmalm. After that, the teams will make their way to checkpoint number 4 in the old city of Stockholm. This is a really small alley, a pair of steps in a small alley called Mårten Trotzigs Gränd. How can you find a place like that on a modern map, Johan? And which way do you think that they will take here?
I think that they will use, you see the bridge connecting mainland to old city,
yes,
or the city between the bridges. That bridge still exists, although in a different shape today.
Yes. It passes Helgeandsholmen, where the Swedish parliament is located.
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly. So if they enter that way, I think it's pretty simple just to follow the Västerlånggatan, because it's shaped just the way it looks in the map right now.
We can just we'll show the tracking map in a short while. I just have to say, running on Västerlånggatan in Stockholm during the summer is an adventure in itself, and us native Stockholmers avoid these parts of Stockholm. So I think we can expect a lot of stressed out tourists today when we have 23 rushing through the tourist center of Stockholm today. Can we go to the live GPS tracking system and see if we can get that updated?
Yeah.
Yes, here it is.
We see that Safat is already down at CP4, heading towards CP5. Safat should be quite acquainted with the geography of Stockholm. And the green line is what is expected to be the optimal route as a kind of guide for us. As you said earlier, the GPS tracking can differ from time to time, so the position might not be exact.
Yes, and the French team is still in the second place from what we can see here on the map.
And the Mexican team is doing pretty well as well.
Yes.
Leaving Helgeandsholmen.
Now, are we looking at... yes. Now we are looking at the all-female team in this race. The team Downtown Camper has just arrived at the City Hall of Stockholm in this live feed here. Did we see them or did I miss them?
Well,
I missed
we
them.
just saw them.
We just saw. Hopefully you saw them who were watching this. Anyway, if you should continue with the course, Swedish Armed Forces is now at checkpoint number 5.
Yes.
And this is an interesting checkpoint. It is located just outside Brasserie La Rouge, for those of you who are eating dinner in Stockholm tonight. This is just below the statue of St. George and the Dragon. This is a famous statue, and it's common in all arts all over Europe. In Sweden, this statue represents the freedom from the oppression of the Danes in the 16th century.
We see the Spanish team at checkpoint 2 at the city hall. That was Bodinho Raid.
Yes. But now Johan, we have a really interesting choice of roads here. The next checkpoint number 6, is located on the bridge, Skeppsholmsbron, between Blasieholmen and Skeppsholmen. And it looks like the Swedish Armed Forces are planning to run all the way around this water. Would it have been faster to swim?
Maybe. It's the distance across the sea is 200 meters approximately. Would take like 4 minutes for a good team to swim. The distance around running would be approximately 3 times or 4 times as far. At this early stage in the race, maybe you don't benefit that much. You would benefit a minute or so if you're a good swimmer. But still, it is a possibility.
Yes, and they also have the backpacks on at this stage, which makes them a little bit slower in the water, perhaps.
Yeah,
yes.
Possibly they want to keep dry as long as possible.
Yes, at least for approximately 1 more hour. After that, they will start their pack raft, and they will get wet anyway. Okay, can we see something about the positioning of the teams? We have Swedish Armed Forces in the lead, and the French team, number 13. The Packerade team in second place. And it looks like we have the Swedish team, Greener Adventure team, in third place at this moment. And then there are a really tight bunch with the Finnish team and the Estonian team.
Well, all teams are expected to be at front.
Yes. Now we cut off and go to Lina Sjöström again. And here we can see, looks like Johan Hasselmark running. This is the crown on the bridge over to Skeppsholmen. And there we have Lina standing.
We are standing here at the...
Start again.
Okay. Hi and welcome. We are here at the bridge from Blasieholmen over to Skeppsholmen, and we have just had the first team coming here to this checkpoint. It was a Swedish team, Swedish Armed Forces. And they had a really great speed and looked strong and confident, and they have just been finishing the first leg, which was the abseiling down from the hotel roof of downtown Camper. And they are now out on this orienteering running leg in the central part of Stockholm. And the checkpoint was here at the bridge. As you can see, the golden crown. And this is a well-known tourist attraction with all the water around this little island. And on this left side, you can see the Royal Castle, and on the other side, you have Djurgården, and it's very, very beautiful views, and I hope that the teams can enjoy the great surroundings while they're heading for the next checkpoint. And we are not seeing the second team yet, but we're having the crew out on the water. But I think that they should arrive quite soon. Normally in the beginning of the race, it will be quite tight between the different teams, and the pace is normally very high. The first day almost, and as we could see on the Swedish Armed Forces, they had a great pace and were looking very strong. And we are here at the bridge from Blasieholmen over to Skeppsholmen, and there's a lot of tourists around here, and on Skeppsholmen you have a lot of cultural buildings, and for instance the Royal Institute of Art and the Art Library and studio. Okay. So I'm not in the... Okay, great.
Thank you, Lina. Yes, what we can see on the positioning system is that it will take approximately 1 minute or so before the French team number 13 will join you on Skeppsbron. Johan, what do you think about this making a really fast start? We can see now that the Swedish Armed Forces have a really good head start.
Yes.
How much of a difference will that make in 3 days?
You would guess not very big difference.
No.
However, it's usually like this. All the expected top teams are in the top 5, top 6 at the moment. Of course, they're well trained. Their VO2 max are high.
Yes.
Of course, they have a high capacity running.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, I don't think that starting fast is not necessarily a good thing if you use systems that are not endurable.
Yes.
Meaning body systems. But if there are events like they have to catch a ferry or doing an
which
abseil,
will come to later. Yes.
Exactly. Then they would benefit from starting really quick.
Yes. And if you have the speed and the explosiveness, why not use it? And you can't use it after several days. Why not use it in the beginning when you have it?
Well, perhaps, but I think that the verkningsgrad, the efficiency is lower at higher speeds than in lower speeds.
Okay. Yes, we go over to Lina again for the next team.
And confident.
Go Packared! Go Packared!
They're adding a lot of energy, and here we have the third team. It's also a Swedish team, Sweco Adventure Race, together with the team from Finland. It's a very tight race between these two teams. They're having a high pace. And here we have another Swedish team, Greener Adventure team, also looking strong and focused. And they have now all been taking this checkpoint here at the bridge with the golden crown. And they will continue with the orienteering section here in the central part of Stockholm. And here we have the Estonian team. They also look strong, focused and confident. Jättebra! Good luck! Enjoy the race! So we have a bunch of team taking this checkpoint here with the golden crown. And here in the background we have the what do we have? We have the Royal Castle. And on the other side we have the beautiful Djurgården which also is a tourist attraction as this place. It's a lot of people going here, and they are probably wondering what's going on. And it's the Nordic Island Adventure Race that started earlier this day at the hotel downtown Camper, with an abseil down from the rooftop, about 30 meters. Each team member abseil down. And yeah, now we have another team. It's also a Swedish team, Hamilton Adventure Team. They are keeping a good pace and looking strong. And hey! And they have also now taken the checkpoint here, the Golden Crown. And we'll continue now on the rest of the orienteering section. It's the second leg of the Nordic Island Adventure Race, which is the 6th race in the World Series of Adventure Racing. And we are waiting for some few more teams arriving here. We can see them heading off on the bridge quite soon. And this is still very early in the race, and the pace is normally very high. As you can see on the teams, they are having good speed when they're getting to this checkpoint. And after, let's see, now we're having them on the bridge. It's also a Swedish team. It's Haglev Silva. They look focused and have control over the speed. This team is ranked 7 in the Adventure Racing World Series ranking. And they will now continue on the rest of this orienteering section. And actually one of this team member won the Åre Extreme Challenge. It's a big solo multisport competition in Åre earlier this year. Robert Lindberg, and together with his teammates, I'm sure they will be heading in a great speed the rest of the race. And let's see if we have another team. Yes, they are also running with a great speed. And it's a French team, yeah, and here we have another team, also French team, and here we have another team, yeah, it's also a French team. We have 3 French teams coming up here with great speed, and they look happy and focused. They're having almost the whole course in front of them, and they plenty. Good luck, enjoy. So now we have been having a lot of the teams visiting this checkpoint. I think we have a few more teams left, and after they are done with this orienteering leg, the second leg in this race, Nordic Island Adventure Race, they will get back to the starting area at Hotel Downtown Camper and get their pack rafts and a lot of new gears and prepare for the third leg, which is a pack raft section of 16 kilometers, where they will switch by running and paddling in this inflatable kayaks, where you sit 2 people in each of these kayaks. And the pack raft legs are quite common in adventure racing because you can easily switch on being on water and going quite fast on land by running. The boats only weigh about 3 kilos each, so that's a quite decent weight for a kayak. Okay, I think we have another team coming down to the bridge. Blue and white, and I think actually it is another Swedish team. Let's see if we can recognize them. Yeah, it is for sure. Looking strong. Here we have another Swedish team, and actually one guy in this team have already crossed the Baltic Sea by swimming. So this team has experience of crossing the cold water of the Baltic Sea. But this time they will be kayaking over to Finland. Yeah, good luck, guys! Looking strong! So very impressive speed, and I think this team are quite new, and they are doing their first adventure race together, and let's see if we can have any more teams arriving here to the Golden Crown on this bridge over to Skeppsholmen.
Thank you, Lina. We have prepared some presentations of the teams for you, and we will discuss them a little bit more in detail afterwards. But we will go now to the presentation of the first couple of teams that we have here.
Jag är läkare, jobbar med hjärnskador och specialist i allmänmedicin. Och så forskar jag om stress och utmattning. Så det är precis det vi ska göra nu. Fast på ett annat sätt. Jag har 6 dagars semester nu. Utomhus. Eller hur? Med lite små roliga grejer på vägen. Jag har kört 2 race innan. I Polen och Portugal. Och jag älskar det. Nu får vi se hur det blir hemma i Sverige. Om det går för samma lika naturupplevelser. Men det gör det.
Vi ska paddla, springa, cykla, simma över Ålands hav ända till Åbo. I en mix av glädje och ångest, sömnbrist och hunger. Men vi ser fram emot det, konstigt nog. Sweco Adventure, vi är i grunden samma gäng som har hållit på med det här i 20 år. Kärnan är de samma, så det tillkommer några under åren. Och vi är Värmlandsbaserade.
Okay, my name is Isabel Santana. I'm from Spain, from the north of Spain. Here?
I'm Rubén Torrecilla, and I am in the same region in Spain.
We are going to try to survive because it's very hard for us. We haven't done anything like this in only 3 days, a race of 3 days. Then we are going to try to finish the race.
Run a lot, bike a lot, kayak a lot, swim a lot, everything a lot.
Our team name is Estonian Ace Solomon. Yes, I think we are quite experienced team now. We have been doing this kind of races from 2010. Our first race actually was crossing the Scandinavian peninsula from Norway to the Botnia Bay in Baltic. So we're good.
Vårt lag heter Team Dana Camper. Vi även har vi Nathalie Persson och Emma Lind. Så båda Emma Lind 25 och Nathalie är 27 som jag. Vi alla har jobbat här på Dana Camper.
Okay.
Yeah, from the 5 teams we just saw, we can see the span of experience, with the Estonian ace in the top, aspiring for the win in the race, of course. And the team Puppy Adventure Racing team, this is the first race that they are doing together. The woman Johanna, who spoke earlier, has done some previous races, but the guys, friends from back in the time, not used to this environment, not used to the long races. They were quite afraid that they wouldn't get enough sleep.
Yes, I would be too.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm not competing today.
And Johanna was afraid of the cold.
Okay.
And there is a contradiction between cold and sleep.
Yes.
So we will see.
Okay. If we move on to the next thing that the teams will do, then is to get their pack raft ready, and then continue to the central part of Stockholm via their pack raft. I think we can see some interesting choices in which routes to take there.
Yes, for sure. Approximately the speed of a kayak or a pack raft is 5 kilometers per hour. At this time in the race. The speed of running with the pack raft on the back is 10 kilometers per hour.
Yes.
So you need to weigh those two alternatives against each other.
Yes. And here we can see from checkpoint number 9. This is where they're unpacking their pack rafts. It's located at the Kayak Club Strömstararna, between the Old City and the islet of Riddarholmen. The pack raft is just basically, as Johan explained, it's an inflatable kayak. It's moving much slower than an ordinary kayak, but it's easier to carry with them. So it's a good expedition choice type of kayak. From here, the teams will continue out between the Helgeandsholmen and follow the rapids there. It's not any rapids by the standards we can see in other countries, but it's a rapid we have here in Stockholm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's also known as the rapid.
The rapid in Stockholm, yes. And we'll see how the team would cope with that.
Actually, there was a choice here, but we are thinking that paddling must be compulsory at this moment, because from the map you would guess that running would be much faster at the beginning of this race, especially since unpacking the raft takes about 10 minutes or so, and then you need to pack it again. So doing this in 2 short intervals is not good, of course.
Yes. And here you can also see the central bike lane that goes from the southern part of Stockholm to the northern part of Stockholm. We are a lot of bicycles there each Monday morning. I will be going there by myself tomorrow morning on my way to work, and hopefully all the teams have passed this checkpoint at that stage.
Bikers are known to be angry, and especially in this particular bike lane,
which is quite narrow.
Yes, yes. There could be some shouting over there.
After this checkpoint, they will visit the next checkpoint, which is checkpoint number 10. It is located at the exhibition called Vikings, close to the museum of the ship Vasa. At this place, each racer will be given a small runestone that they need to carry all the way to Yes, we can explain a little bit more about that later, and we can go live to Jari now, who is close to the teams.
Ja.
Kom här, längre bort! Längst bort!
Are we live? Okay. We are here between Riddarholmen and Gamla Stan, and the teams are now fill their packrafts and going out for the packraft leg. The first team here was Swedish Armed Force, and the second team I think was the Finnish team with Petter Forsman. And it's always some tactic how you inflate these packrafts, or always when you have something you need to inflate, if you use a pump or doing by mouth or whatever. But if you have a pump, you need to carry the pump all the way, so it's some extra weight. And this is like a moment when it's kind of stressful, because you want to do this fast and start pedal, but everything needs to be correct. You have the correct seat position, and all the gear need to be detached to the packraft so you don't lose anything. So it's quite busy here. All the teams are like fixing with the packrafts, and it's always focus on what to do. Sometimes you have like a strategy before the race. Every team member know what to do. Someone inflate the packraft, and some guys collect the paddles, and some of them like detach the backpacks to the packraft. So always when it's a moment like this, when you need to stop and arrange with your stuff, all the teams come together again. So it looks like it's quite tight race, but it's not. It's I think Swedish Armed Force going out now, and after them it's Sweco, the Swedish team with from Karlstad. Some interesting thing from the checkpoint 2 from the city hall was that Team Haglöfs was quite far behind, so I wonder what's happened with them. So the packrafts are not so stable, so it's good if you have done some training in the packraft. And Simon there took up some gear in the water. Here's the Estonian team and Sweco. And the Estonian team is a good team always. They have a good navigation skill, and always travel the shortest way between checkpoints. And if you're out somewhere, it's a good team to have beside your own, because if they choose another way, it's good to check your map. Okay, we have Team Haglöfs here. And Team Haglöfs are preparing their packraft. See if I can check what happened to them, if they missed something on the map. And in the Haglöfs team it's Robert and Björn, and it's Corinne from New Zealand, and it's I don't know the name now, but he's an Australian guy. Really good team. And the packraft leg is also around in Stockholm, central Stockholm, with some paddling and of course they're going to carry the packraft. That's the thing with the packraft. It's an easy boat to carry, so you can choose between paddle or do a lift. So the longer packraft section on this race is going to be a lot of waypoints, or you can choose whatever you want to paddle or you're going to carry. And when the teams got the maps this morning, that's the key moment when you're going to maybe plan how you do the course, if you're going to carry or paddle some legs. So here we have a French team on spot, two French team, and Swedish team. It's the Hamilton Adventure, and we have hog gloves, pumping for all they got. And now the Hamilton Adventure going out. It's a new team. It's a new team supported by or helped by the Hamilton dudes. Well, again, it's surprisingly I'm surprised that the Haglav's team are so far behind. So I think something have happened. Vad hände? Har jag missat någonting?
Ja, vi tog oss inte ut för repet.
Okay.
Byta några grejer.
All right. Well, I'm speaking to Robert here, and they have some issues. There's some problem with on the rope section. So they lost some time there. What? Yeah. Hi.
Yes, here we have some live footage from the packraft session through the current here in Stockholm. First of all, Johan, would you like to say something about what happened to the Mexican team from what you could see on the GPS tracking system?
Well, from the screen it looks like the Mexican team TNEC have found their way to Södermalm, which is the southern island of Stockholm.
Yeah.
There aren't any checkpoint there.
Yes.
So they seem to be lost. Very unfortunate.
Yes.
The Mexican team is a strong team. They've got massive experience. But of course, the orienteering of the old map is very, very difficult.
Mm. But now they seem to have found their way back to the race course. Yes. So what are we seeing here on the live stream? Yes.
We're seeing Sweco and Safat most probably coming out from Helgeandsholmen, moving into the stream.
Yes.
Or the current, or what translation might be.
Yes. And there we have some difficult obstacles to pass. They are partly due to cleaning the water, but I also think that they are planned as an obstacle to not go too close to the Swedish Parliament.
Yeah.
But they are easily passable with the packraft, since there is no rudder or skegs going beneath the hull.
You can see it's open at the left-hand side.
Mm.
Very small opening.
It looks like a really small opening from here. Let's see if any teams are taking that route.
And
yes, it looks like that.
Due to the extremely low water levels in Stockholm now, I think that they are quite opened sparsely.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Difficult to see here.
Oh, that was Canadian team.
Yes, Stockholm is located just where the freshwater lake of Mälaren goes out into the Baltic Sea, or the archipelago leading to the Baltic Sea. So the locks here in Stockholm are not only used for getting boats in and out of Lake Mälaren, but Lake Mälaren is also our drinking water reservoir for 2 to 2.5 billion people. And sometimes the problem is to get all the water out so that we don't get any floodings in Stockholm. And in some cases, like this summer, for example, the difficulty is to keep the water level high enough so that we don't get any salt water into Lake Mälaren.
But given the fact that it's our drinking water, if any of the teams would fall into the water, they wouldn't suffer from that other than getting wet, because the water is very clean nowadays. It wasn't 40 years ago, but now it's very clean. And actually, on the bridges ahead, there is often fishermen standing catching salmon or
herring, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes, and there are being placed out every summer also, these fishes.
Där är grenen.
11.
Ja, men
Sen ska de till Seppeltal. Ja, sen ska de bort i Hammarby.
Det är väl här alla de här stora kranarna står?
Ja, kanske.
Ja.
Bra kört här.
Ja, tack. Okay, we are live again here. It's the packraft leg here, and I think most of the team have passed through and start paddling, and they're going to paddle to somewhere around Skansen and on Djurgården, and after that it's going to be some CPs with not so long paddling sections, and to Hammarby, and after that is the longer race is starting, and the CPs are going to be further between. So I spoke to Team Haglöfs. It's one of the teams that should be in the top, and they have some problem on the rope section, and that's why they lost some time. So they were really stressed, but it's a lot of race left, so they're gonna fix the damage, of course. Okay, now over to Fredrik in the studio.
Welcome back to the studio. We just saw Team Hamilton Adventure Race in a really good position, and with us live in the studio, I say welcome to Annika Hamilton.
Thank you.
One of the coaches for the team.
Yes, and sponsors.
And sponsors as well. Yes, it looks like a really good start for the team.
Yes.
Yes.
We're so lucky. This is exciting.
Yes. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the background for the team that you've chosen to sponsor and coach?
It's because me and my husband, Johan Hamilton, we are both multisporters too, adventure racers, even if we never have done such a long competition as this. And we want to do something for the sport. And we see that this is very expensive sport to, so we thought, so if we could take a young team and help them, just with money, and also with training and coaching. Because we have a consulting company and we work with team development and leadership and work together and use different personalities together to aim for a goal. And we thought this was a good thing to do.
Yeah. Okay, that's really nice to give them something back to the sport.
Yes.
Yes. You're on your way to as a functionary and help to the race in transition area 2 later on.
Out in Älta.
Yes. Most of the teams that are competing today, it seems like we have experienced middle-aged athletes that have been training together for a long time and are constantly seeking, very experienced, and are looking for sponsors all the time. But this is quite the opposite then.
Yes.
It's completely the opposite.
Yeah,
yes.
We said so. We had this thought about it, that we should just have young people. They should be under 30 years old.
Yeah.
So that was some of the krav, that we have for it. How do you say that? Requirements
yes.
for being able to search for this and having us as sponsors. And we have 2 teams, and we chose one of them.
Okay.
And there were 4 of them, and 3 of them, everyone was under 30. Now Maria, the team leader, she's just turned 30. But that was okay.
Yes.
So, and we, of course, they are very strong athletes.
Yes.
I mean, they are trained and they have doing training for a long time, but they have never trained together or competed together like this, and they have never done such a competition.
Yes.
So this is all new for them.
I spoke to some teams in the morning, and many of them highlighted the fact that we need to work as a team.
Yes.
And you, Annika, being an expert in group dynamics, what are the teams going to be exposed for during these couple of days?
Communication skills. Yeah, communication skills, and be able to know that you and we will not function in the same way when we're under strong pressure.
Yes.
So that's something interesting happening with people when you are hungry, thirsty, when you are tired and your body is aching. What's happening with you then? You're not so nice as you are when you are, relaxed and everything is going your way. So that's the big challenge, I would say, to know how you work and how you function when you're not your normal person.
Is there any way that you can know that beforehand?
Yes, you can, because you can learn more about your personality, and you can we did some personality tests with them. We don't use the word test because it's nothing like good or bad, but we did analyze when we had the first meeting with them and made them aware of how they differed from each other. And then we had some training with Marika Wagner, the swim run coach and the big adventure racer. She is also in the competition.
Yes.
So she was also with us, and she has a lot of experience from this kind of competition. So we had like a theory pass, went through all these skills about teamwork, and then Marika took them out.
Okay.
In the forest and out swim run training, and they experienced and trained on the things that we just had gone through. So I think that was a good mix.
Yes.
And also when we had our first meeting with them in last April, they had never met before, all the 4 of them.
Okay.
So that's also the first time we had get together. So that was also a point, just to have good times together, eat together, laugh and do fun things, just to see. Who are you?
This is actually something interesting, even though it might be personal. We are talking about a team that didn't know each other, and they're racing together.
2 of them knew each other. They are actually a couple, Maria and Lars.
Okay.
So they know each other quite well, I would say.
Then it's almost the same thing, because I've always been impressed by you because you're working together with your husband.
Yes.
And you're living together with your husband.
Yeah.
And you're racing together with your husband.
Yes.
So you have trained a lot on this group dynamics then in...
Yeah, and actually when Johan went, this is my company, I had it for 18 years, I'm an entrepreneur, and when Johan decided 3 years ago to join me, a lot of people said, is that so wise? I mean, should you really work with your husband? And then I said, I think we are quite well prepared, because we have been doing such big effort together in training and in competition. And we have been there 3 o'clock in the morning, tired and out on a competition, and I hate him. And still we have to do this together.
Yes. Okay.
And the feeling to going, through it, and it's a victory. So it's lovely.
Okay. Just one more short question, going back to the sport. We're talking about the opposite scenario here, where you find a team and coach them. Do you think that the future of the sport will be more like competitive cycling or Formula 1 racing, with professional teams that are looking up athletes instead of the other way around?
I don't know, but I just, at the start, I talked with 2 companies there at the start, and they heard what we are doing, and they were interested in doing the same thing. Could we coach a team? Could we have a team? Could we sponsor a team? So I think it's still an interest in doing that we are doing. You don't have to be professional. I hope it's not the future. So you can have another work and occupation, and then do it on your free time. That would be lovely.
Yes.
Not only professional for doing,
No, it's important to stress that this sport is not only for professionals.
No.
It is possible with a low cost to just go out and enjoy the nature. That is for everyone, even though it might not be for everyone to spend 6 days on this course.
Well, this is tough.
Yes. Okay. Thank
so
you.
We will,
good luck to you and good luck to Team Hamilton.
I hope they're going to make it.
Yes, we hope so. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Now we're back in the studio. Yes, and we can see now some teams are still just entering their pack rafts. If we look at GPS positioning, we should see that the first teams are, I need to zoom out a little bit here.
They are already at Skeppsholmen. And actually the Team Hamilton is, I think, 5th team right now. Or is it 4th?
Yes.
Yeah, 5th.
Yes.
The expected top teams, maybe except for Haglöfs and Haglöfs is catching up right now. So the Hamiltons, they're in there.
Yes. As we started mentioning earlier, the first checkpoint for the pack raft after the kayak club here is the exhibition of Vikingaliv close to the Museum of the Vasa ship out on Djurgården in Stockholm. When the participants get there, they will receive a small rune stone. This is an actual stone. We don't know how heavy it is. Hopefully they will be able to carry it because they need to transport it all the way to the Viking village in Åland. This is a sort of a celebration as the postal route that was established by Queen Christina of Sweden in 1632, when all the letters were sent this way. There is an inscription on the runestone, and I'll need to read that. It says that Vikingaliv raised this stone to show that cultural exchange, people's willingness to establish new contacts and to find new settlements has always been part of human development. And that is a really nice message to take across the Sea of Åland.
I'm looking at the tracking system. It seems, unfortunately, that TNEC, the Mexican team, have discovered their mistake by now. They didn't do it before. They are turning around on Södermälarstrand, going back towards Gamla stan.
Yes.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
And they must feel really stressed out at this point, being so far behind. But in the reality, they are no more than 30 minutes behind.
No, 30 minutes in the end will be nothing.
Yes.
Of course, it's a matter of their goal. As I spoke to them earlier, and as I understood, they've been competing a lot together. Several long distance races over several days. They've actually spent 8 days here in Sweden before the race. They came here, did some biking and some kayaking in the waters around Stockholm. So you would hope that they would have better knowledge about the town, but of course it's difficult. Other than TNEC, the Mexican team, we can see that the top teams are moving towards the Viking Museum, after which they will pass on to Södermalm, to the southern island, and
yes,
maybe deflate their kayaks on Södermalm.
Okay, that's good. We can go directly to Lina Sjöström, that is out on the exhibition Vikingaliv. and see if she can get some more information from the teams there. Oh, so we can speak directly to you now, Lina.
So
Yeah,
I'm
good.
I'm here at Viking Liv, and we're having a lot of teams arriving here. We have, I think, it's three of the Swedish teams here: Sweco Greener Adventure Team and the Swedish Armed Forces. They will now continue on this third leg, a packraft section, and here you can see how the packrafts are looking, inflatable boats.
Yes.
Here we have the Vikings of today, and all the teams have picked up a rune stone with some sort of message, I think.
Yes, I just read the message to the audience a short while ago. Can you say something about how heavy this runestone is that they need to carry all the way to Åland? Can you see it?
How heavy is the runestone?
How heavy is it? 250 kilograms? No, grams.
Wow, that's heavy!
Wow, that's
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 200 grams. Okay.
Okay, that's good. I was afraid that it was a large runestone, like the original ones you can still see out in the fields.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We have one team that will carry this stone. A bit larger.
Lina, can you adjust your camera so it's horizontal instead?
Yep.
Yes, good. Okay. No. Our GPS tracking system is quite difficult to follow. You said there were 3 Swedish teams up in front.
Yeah.
Can you say something about the order and of the teams?
Here we have another Swedish team coming.
So there are 4 Swedish teams in the top right now.
Here we have Hamilton Adventure Team. I think this is their first race they're doing together, and they have now reached this checkpoint here at Viking Liv, and they will also get their own rune stone to carry with them during the whole race. Good luck, team. So back to the studio.
Okay, thank you, Lina.
You were a bit curious about which Swedish teams that arrived here.
Yes. We can see that the Swedish Armed Forces and Hamilton and Sweco and Greener Adventure Team has been there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And
what about the Estonian Ace Adventure Team?
Exactly. They were the first team arriving here.
Yes.
And it's a very tight battle between all of the first, I think it's first 5 teams. They are keeping up the pace and having a good speed and chasing each other.
Are all of the teams running towards the across Djurgården?
Yes, they are running. And when they came here to this checkpoint, they were running with their pack rafts still in. They haven't packed them down, so they were.
Yes, but it's quite close to the next checkpoint, which is the bridge between Djurgården and Beckholmen, and.
Now we have the team from Finland here at this checkpoint. Looking focused and so
Here we have the team from Finland arriving to this checkpoint. And
you should also have Paracade from France being there just about now.
Here we have the first French team. Woo! Yay! Looking strong. Strong and happy. Yeah. And they also got the runestone that they will carry the whole way over the Baltic Sea over to Finland.
Yes.
Yep.
And
over to the studio.
Yes. From the Vikingalid, the teams are apparently choosing to run to the bridge between Djurgården and Beckholmen, close to the restaurant Waxen. Myself, I would of course have chosen to paddle that stretch, but it's possible that it's faster to run than to kayak. When they have taken that checkpoint, they will pass through the channel Danvikstullskanalen into the lake of Hammarby. And they will continue to go on into the locks between the Sickla Lake and the Lake of Hammarby. You can see on the live stream here we have the team Stronger Than an Eagle and Faster Than a Bear, I think.
Or the opposite.
Or the opposite. Yes, with the team members.
They're looking quite comfortable.
Yes. And
this is the TV, TV star, Kalle.
Kalle Zackari Wallström.
Participating in adventure racing for the first time of his life.
Yes, and with him he has more experienced team captain Marika Wagner and also James Roberts and Jens Larsson.
We don't know anything about this team, do we? About their capabilities. I wonder if they know.
We will soon see if we could broadcast an interview with the teams a little bit later on in this show. Yes.
They will be passing through Danvikstull.
Yes.
To Hammarby Sjöstad, and then after the city of Hammarby Sjöstad, or they will be going up Hammarbybacken, which is, I think, the highest point of Stockholm.
Yes, it is almost, I think, 90 meters above the sea level. Or 83 meters, or something like that. It's an old garbage pile, just outside of Stockholm.
And
but before they reach Hammarbybacken, at the locks of Sicklaslussen, they will have a challenge.
Yes.
That we will be showing with our reporter Jari Palonen later on. It is something called the Red Bull Neptune Steps, where they will be climbing each lockhead, climbing up and climbing down on the other sides with their packraft. It will be interesting to see.
Most probably the teams will choose to take their packraft out of the water and run from the dock until Hammarby Sjöstad, which is checkpoint number 12. I would guess, because after that there's a quite interesting choice of route, and I think that depending on what they're planning to do later on, they would unpack or use their raft to Hammarby Sjöstad as well.
Yep. Yes. If we follow the video that just disappeared, you can see the packrafts. Now we are back in the studio.
Now we're
on the water again.
Yes.
And it is the famous adventure racer and author Mikael Linnod, who is driving this water scooter here. These teams have just taken the checkpoint on the bridge between Beckholmen and Djurgården, and now they need to paddle across the lake Saltsjön. It means the salty lake. It's just where the water turns a little bit salty. The water in the Baltic is not actually considered an ocean because it contains of brackish water.
It's very little salt.
Very little salt, but a little bit too much to drink. You can see here, if we can see the cranes in the background is quite interesting actually, because it's all the cranes that were earlier placed in Hammarby Sjöstad, and they are painted as giraffes.
Yeah.
So it is an interesting landmark here in Sweden.
And they're passing the island of Beckholmen, which has been a shipyard for centuries.
Yes.
They built the old oak ships in the dry docks of Beckholmen. And actually, the Vasa ship sunk just outside Beckholmen.
Yes, I don't know if it was built there, but it sank right outside.
Yeah.
Yes. And they are, I don't know if they're building ships there still, but they still have these dry docks where they can repair.
Yeah, they're
boats.
actually still...
So it's an industry that is very central in Stockholm here.
Yeah.
The teams are now passing what is probably one of the most trafficated waterways in all of Sweden, except maybe for the strait between Sweden and Denmark.
Soon we will see whether they are choosing to run or to paddle to Hammarby Sjöstad. That will be very interesting.
Yes, it will be. The next checkpoint is the lockets in Siklaslussen. And from that place, after this Neptune challenge that they will perform, they will take the checkpoint on the top of Hammarbybacken. And that is approximately the time that we will close this live broadcast, but the race will continue then for between 3.5 days for the best teams and 6 days for the little bit slower teams. We can continue to talk a little bit about what happens after Hammarbybacken. After Hammarbybacken, the teams will continue their packraft session all the way to Hellasgården in naturreservatet Nackareservatet. And in this case, even I would actually choose to run with the packraft on that stretch. What would you say, Johan?
Yeah, I agree. The forest is probably the most used forest in Stockholm by us multisporters or mountain bikers.
Okay.
So the trails are dense. The possibility of running is very, very good. However, the trails are so many that might prove to be the difficulty of the orienteering.
Yes. Now we can continue to present some of the more of the teams that are participating. So we will look at some interviews from a few more of the teams that are participating today.
Anton Lidblad heter jag. Jag kommer från Uppsala och vi är ju Uppsala Multisport därav som vi är från Uppsala allihopa.
Jag tror att vi kommer lida, skratta,
frysa,
gråta,
paddla.
Ja, och frysa igen.
Soy Carlos Amil de Galicia, España y tengo 40 años.
Y mi nombre es Daniel Macay, también soy de Galicia y tengo 32 años.
Okay, our team name is multisport.fi.
Well, we have done several races in after racing and especially in multisport, shorter races, but also long ones.
Yeah, and rest of the team as well. And we have quite big experience. Our team captain is really experienced guy.
We're Team Lowland Leopard. My name is Eva de Vos and I'm from the Netherlands.
My name is Cor Wils from the Netherlands as well.
For me it's my first time. Yes, the longest race I've done is 32 hours.
I've been doing this a little bit longer. I've done 2 or 3 multi-day races and lots of short ones.
My name is Patrice.
My name is Maxence.
Excuse me. We're from France. We are from wow. How do you say? We are from France. And age.
I'm 51 years old.
41.
41.
No, and me 21.
I'm Julien Ranou. I come from Bordeaux in France, south of France. And my partner is Julien from Bruxelles in Belgium. Sébastien from Périgueux, southwest of France. And Frédéric from Arcachon, a beautiful city in the southwest of France.
Interesting. Johan, do you have some other inside information about these teams? I know you were sneaking around the hotel last night.
Yeah, I did. I spoke to 3 of these guys. The Finnish team, strong team, of course. Petri Forsman, being 49 years old, participating in the Endless Odyssey, which was held in 1998 in Sweden, which I think was like the start of adventure racing in Sweden. Solid experience. They think that the key to success is realistic picture of the race. You can't
and what they would experience, perhaps.
Yeah. The lowland leopards from Holland, they have been doing military.
I just want to shortly break and comment what we can see in the live stream here. We can see that we have actually opened the bridge for the passages of these pack rafts. I think that they might have been able to go under anyway, but the harbor office in Stockholm has been kind enough to open the bridge here. Yes, okay, sorry.
Yeah. The Dutch people, they came to Sweden because they wanted to see the scenery, the nature. They felt it was a good option for them to go to Sweden instead of Brazil, because they could actually take their own car going here. They were quite curious to see the local Swedish teams. They had an impression of Swedish teams having adventure racing from the cradle.
Okay, so they're mixing us up with the Norwegians then? Or?
I don't know. I don't know. They think well of us.
Yes.
And Uppsala Multisport, a local team from Uppsala. A lot of experience in the team. Sonny and Pernilla have been in the game for many years. Anton and Thomas are not beginners either. It's the first time they are competing together, but they are still hoping to at least end up in the top 5.
Yes. Okay, thank you. We can see here that we are filming quite close to the pack rafts, that they're entering now the Hammarbysjön, Lake of Hammarby.
And they are still paddling.
Yes. I don't know if the teams are.
They're on the map.
Happy that they get the wake from the water scooter, or if they are disturbed by the wakes from the water scooter. If we look at the map here and the positioning system, are we seeing the map now? No? Yes. From here on, they have approximately, I would say, 600 meters more to paddle before entering the locks of Sicklaslussen. This is a new built area called Hammarby Sjöstad, where it used to be an old industry previously.
I think Stockholm was applying for the Olympics, and we're planning to make Hammarby Sjöstad the Olympic village. We didn't have the Olympics because the population of Stockholm didn't want to, basically. Well, we lost the we lost it. But Hammarby Sjöstad was built anyway. And all the teams seem to be paddling down Hammarby Sjö.
Yes, perhaps it is faster to run because otherwise we have some hills. And it actually looks like we have the Estonian team in the lead right now, followed closely by 2, 3 or 4 Swedish teams. But they are really, really close together, and you can also see that in the pictures here.
Yeah, the Estonian team, they actually said that paddling was not their biggest strength. They were also quite humble when they emphasized that Swedes normally are good kayakers, but still they're in the lead. I think the team consists of 4 orienteers, actually. So they are passing the map between them in the team.
That could probably be a good thing if the navigator otherwise get tired or injured in some way.
In the pictures you can see the buildings of Hammarby Sjöstad. That's the Sweco team with Marie Nilsson in the front. I wonder if, seems to be a bit messy. The water seems to be...
It's quite choppy water, and part of that is probably due to the water scooter, but there might have been other boats going in and out of this lake as well. It is not a lake anymore because it was lowered 100 years ago to change the waterways that boats used to take in and out from Stockholm. With the opening of the channel that they recently passed, Danvikstulskanalen. I think the water level in Hammarby was dropped 5 meters.
Yes. With the opening of Danvikstull, I think. This was the waterway to the sea previously, going through the channel in which they are soon going to take a left turn to end up in.
Yes, and we can also see in the pictures the top of Hammarbybacken. It doesn't look that scary right now, but and for this experienced athletes, it shouldn't be a problem to get up there.
The area that was built as a consequence of the Olympic application, Hammarby Sjöstad is known as a sort of a flagship part of the Stockholm area. We receive actually thousands of visitors every year looking at this part of town, looking at environmental solutions in this area. It's known to be a role model for city planning, actually.
Okay. Here you can see if the teams have the possibility to surf on the wake behind the water scooter.
Isn't the packraft too slow for that?
I think it would be difficult anyway.
Yeah.
But,
and a question for you, Fredrik, being a kayaker, they're using wing paddles. Why?
Yes, most of the teams are using wing paddles. I saw a few of the teams are using old standard paddles with flat blades. This is actually something that I could spend the next couple of hours talking about, but I will try to put a little bit strain on myself. The wing paddle was designed and developed in Sweden in the late 80s, just when I got into the sport of kayaking. And the original idea was to make it look like a boat propeller, actually. But then there have been a lot of theories on how the wing paddle actually works for the past 30 years. And in my experience, it's actually just a dumbed down flat paddle.
Yeah.
The water can only spill over one of the edges, which makes it you can just put it in the water and drag yourself forward without having to maneuver the paddle, because a flat paddle can slip a little bit to each side in the water. So all the theories about getting an airplane lift from the wing paddle is mostly exaggerated. But you want to put your paddle firmly into the water and then pull yourself forward. That's what you want to do. And then wing paddle makes it easier.
Do you think that they would use the same paddle for let's say a racing kayak and pack raft?
Yes, I think so. You need a slightly bigger blade if you're going for the 200 meters distance. But otherwise, you can just take a really, really small blade, which makes it easier to paddle. Yes. Yes. So there is no magic between wing paddle. But on the other hand, a modern wing paddle is built in carbon fiber, which makes it easier to carry and swing across the water. There's no magic behind it.
We see that the Swedish Armed Forces are in the lead as well. They had to call in a substitute.
Yes.
One of their team members, John Carlson, was ill.
Yes. Was injured in an accident a few weeks ago. There's a really competent replacement with Sam Clark from New Zealand.
I spoke to Sam about this race, and he said that paddling is his strength in multisport. It's his strong card. However, he didn't think that the 4-hour or 6-hour crossing to Åland was going to be very, very nice anyway.
No.
And he also said that all the practicing I've done might not be giving me that big advantage on pack rafting and those sea kayaks that they are going to use.
No, and especially with the weather prognosis now, implying approximately 1 meter high waves coming from the side when they're crossing the lake over to Åland, it will be tough. Yeah. We will actually see if we have the possibility to have Jon Karlsson from Swedish Armed Forces with us on a Skype call. We're looking into that possibility right now and see what he thinks about the team and their chances. Anyway,
this is exactly how you see it on television when they're waiting for for a news broadcast of some kind.
We will have John with us in a short while, and it will be a short interview because then we're going to Jari, who is located at the lockheads of Siklaslussen.
It seems like all the teams except for Ad Nature has entered the pack raft.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hi. Good.
Yes, good. You were up until about a month ago planning to participate in this race. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, I was out for just bike training, and I had a little accident hurting my my neck, so I have to stay off from hard training and racing for 2 to 3 months now to heal up my body.
Okay. Yes. We had you have a very competent replacer in Sam Clark from New Zealand, but we just recently had Annika Hamilton in the studio and discussing group dynamics. What do you think happens to the team when you're exchanging one of the team members in quite a short notice before the race?
I think in this case, this doesn't get any big problems because Sam, he knows what to do and just be a good fill-in for me. The big challenge for the team is to take my place in tactical choices and maybe who's going to take the lead in the decisions. But I think the ordinary team is going to do really good about that also.
That's okay. And I suppose that the Swedish Armed Forces are planning to win this race, but what do you think about the other competitors? Which one is the favorites?
For sure, I think Swedish Armed Forces is one of the main favorites. I also think that Hagia Silva, they're always good, it's always hard to beat. But I'm also going to get a little bit of heads up for Multisport C and Estonia. Both of those teams have really good navigators. And if it ends up, it's going to be a navigation race in the pack raft session in the end of the race. I think those two teams may be the favorites. But for sure, the quickest team is going to be Swedish Armed Forces and Silva.
Okay. Thank you very much, John. We need to go live to Jari Palonen now, but good luck to your rehabilitation and also good luck for the team in this race. We're going now to Jari Palonen in Sicklaslussarna.
Det är ju 4 och 4, eller 4 i varje lag. Det är så jävla trångt.
Okay, we are live from Sicklaslussen with at Hammarbybacken, at the foot of Hammarbybacken. So now the teams arrived here and they're gonna climb up with the pack raft up on the net, then throw the pack raft down on the other side and punch the control, and after that go. So this is a really critical moment because it's good to be first here because you don't need to wait in a line. So I think many of the team have know this and they go push hard to come here first. So, but I think they're doing this quite fast and they actually better than I thought. So now they're throwing the pack rafts over to the other side, and the first team is the Estonian team, and they have passed Swedish Armed Force on this paddling from Riddarholmen. And I think, I mean, you're stressed, you want to do this really fast, but it's also a risky moment because you can puncture your pack raft, so you need to take care of the pack raft and don't push too hard, because if the pack raft is punctured then you have a problem and you can lose a lot of time. So now on the net we have Swedish Armed Forces as the second team, and then we have Greener Adventure team, also a Swedish team. They are racing about second place here now. Same time as the Estonians climb up their pack rafts and punch the CP and go forward. Real much people here at the Sicklaslussen and watch this spectacular event. And many people come to me and ask about the race and what they're doing, and when I tell them the race is going from Stockholm to Åbo in Finland, they think I'm joking, but I'm not joking. So this is for real, and they are really climbing up this net with their pack rafts, and it's really important to take care of your pack raft and don't hit like a nail or something, a spike that puncture your pack raft, because then you're gonna lose a lot of time, of course. So the thing is to be really fast, but also safe with your equipment. So we have Swedish Armed Force now pushing over. They're under the Red Bull arch, and Sam Clark from New Zealand have all the pedals and getting ready to jump down. And the aircraft go down. So the second team is Swedish Armed Forces, and the team behind them for the moment are the Greener Adventure team, Swedish team from Sweden, of course. And Sweco Adventure is the team number 4 here. Sorry, wrong. Team number 3. No, team number 4. So they jump down. It's a little bit down, but not so high. So, and it's really deep. So it's not any risk for injuries or something. But keep control over the team's gears. You don't lose anything. That's the most important thing here. So if you lose maybe a pump or a map, of course, it's a disaster for the team. So. So this is really adventure. I think it's a cool moment in this race. You need to do this stuff. You have to think outside the box and do it fast as possible without any knowledge of what to doing from the beginning. So now we have another team coming up here, coming up the net. It's Hamilton Adventure. The newborn team, the Swedish team. As you see, it's a lot of people here watching this spectacular race from Stockholm city to Åbo in Finland. And it sounds so crazy as it is. So this team, all the team gonna go from Stockholm over Åland and over to Finland, and where the finish line are. So it seems like all the team have passed, no problems here. I mean, things can happen, you can injure yourself or the boats, but everything looks fine. So we're gonna look at the other side. It's the Hamilton Adventure team coming up the net. And they're doing fine. Now they drop something, and that's the thing. You need to have all your gears connected to the boats or on your backpack, because it's easy to drop something, and if you lose it, if it's something important, well, maybe you need the race is over, or maybe you get a penalty time if it's a mandatory gear. That you not need, but you need to have it in your backpack or on your backpack. So at the beginning of the net, we have the Finnish team with Petter Forsman, and that's an experienced team with a good navigator. So I think they're gonna do fine in this race. Okay, we're now following the teams in Siklaslussen. And the first team have climbed up the net and punched the CP, and now climbing up the ladder. And after that up to Hammarbybacken and going forward on this quite long packraft section, but it's a longer one coming up later in the race. So the first team is the Swedish Armed Forces. Swedish/New Zealand Australian team. No, Sweden New Zealand team. And on second place, no, sorry, Swedish Armed Forces are second place. The Estonians are first. So this is a really adventure racing moment. You need to think outside of the box and doing the best thing of something you don't have knowledge of before the race. How to climb up a ladder with a packraft. That's nothing you train. As I say, this is nothing you train for. This just happened. You need to do the best. What do you think is the best thing to do? And as I said before, it's really important that you don't injure or damage your equipment, because if you make a hole in your boat, you need to fix it, and you're gonna lose a lot of time, because you need the packraft later in the race, of course. And they have a really long packraft section in the race. It's going to be about 30 hours, I think, or something. So now it started raining, so it's a really good adventure racing weather here. Like a good Swedish summer day. Before the race, they were talking about the heat here in Sweden, and it's going to be a problem, but I think not anymore. I think it's going to be quite good temperature for racing, and it's going to be some rain, I think, also. The forecasts say that. So here is the Swedish Armed Forces Adventure Racing team squeezing through the concrete here and themselves. And now they just need to collect all the gear, the paddles, and push forward up to Hammarbybacken's peak. It's Stockholm city's highest mountain, so it's not so high, it's like 90 meters high. So the rain is pouring down now, it's starting to be quite heavy. And it's quite cold in the air, not too cold, but when you're in the water and going in the water and up and down and doing so several times, you're starting to get cold. And I think it's good for the races for the moment, to put on some clothes maybe, because if you get cold, you're gonna suffer maybe later in the race. Because the body need to work much harder, because if you don't have the right temperature. So now we see the team Sweco squeezing through here, and they're doing fine. It's in the top of the race here. It's quite tight now, but it's live. And now we're going over to the other side. So now they're gonna go up on Hammarbybacken's hill, Hammer Village hill, and I think they leave their packrafts here and just do a running up. And on the top of this little hill, I think Elena is gonna be and do some live reporting. And behind me is Sweco, the Swedish team. They're pushing hard. It's a really experienced team with a lot of knowledge. Have been in the game for a time, so they know what they are doing and how to do and prepare a race like this. So it's no new stuff for them. So they are on the way up to the top here at Hammarbybacken, Hammer Village Hill. Right, so this is only the beginning of the race. I mean, the race has been on for like since 12 o'clock Swedish time, so I think it's about two and a half hours ago. But it's already really good big gaps between the first team and the last team. So and that's gonna continue. So I mean that's why the race is so long, and you have the opportunity to race to finish line. I think the maximum for this race is 6 days, maybe. But I think the fastest is gonna be like three days to the finish line. So now we have the teams coming up from the Sickla Slussen, like Neptune stairs, or what you can call it, under the Red Bull Arch. They need to climb with the pack rafts and climb up by themselves, of course.
Har ni koll på hur det här då cykling?
Vad sa du?
Det står här till cykling nu, hur de springer.
Ja, men jag tror att de ska fortsätta packrafta enligt kartan i alla fall. Ja, eller hur? De ska ju packrafta, det är ju en bra bit.
Men de ska de upp och så ska man tillbaka hit eller?
Alltså de ska ner dit som är hela...
Håll in här för att se. Kolla
Ja, då måste det vara den kanalen här. Ganska långt då, hela den där, och sen genom en kanal dit och sen... Jaha, måste det vara så. Ja, de kommer ner hit.
Här är det nu, här har man backen. Så det ser för 13, sen ska man på 14, 15, 16, där är det 3.
Men då kommer de ju ta den som ger den här måste det vara.
Gå på då.
Okay, so now we're here at Hammarbybacken, and the first team, the Estonian team, has just passed this checkpoint, and here we have the first Swedish team, Swedish Armed Forces, and they are now
Yes, okay, we're back in the studio now, and we have actually received our first question in the commentary field on Facebook. It's from the kayak coach Danny Halmén. He wants to know which teams are considered as good paddling teams, because this is an adventure race with a lot of paddling and a lot of swimming. I would say I know that there are a few Swedish teams with really good paddler members. For example, Team Haglöf Silva is good. The Swedish Armed Forces are really good kayakers. And apparently it seems like the Estonians are really good packraft paddlers anyway.
Even though they didn't say so.
No, they said they weren't that prepared. But
no, actually.
Yeah. Do you have any other insights in any other good teams?
Well, generally they didn't. They weren't very enthusiastic, or they didn't want to host themselves as being good at something. But of course we can expect the teams that have an ambition to be top 5. They should be quite good at paddling.
They need to be. Yes. Yes. Where you go? Yes. And this must be then the Estonian team coming down from the Hammarby Hill. No, it's not.
According to the tracking system, the Estonians are
already on their way.
Yeah.
Right? And it looks like in the tracking system, if I zoom in, that they are choosing to run with the packraft.
Which is the optimal route, I would say, even though the green line says something else.
There is a waterway going almost all the way to the next checkpoint, with a climb in the end to get to Källtorpssjön, near Hellasgården. But there is also a parkway that is very easily run.
Yeah, and it seems like Safat is taking that.
Yes, and there you can see the parkway going along almost all the way, and it's probably faster to run with the packraft than it is to paddle.
They have approximately 2.5 kilometers to the next checkpoint, and so they are choosing to run that part, which I think
that is a good idea, because if you take the water part, then you will need to climb up afterwards, which is quite steep climb to get to Källtorpssjön, where the next checkpoint is. So
I wonder how fast they are running, given that they have to carry their packraft as well.
Yeah, I think that the major problem would be all the bicycles and the mothers with baby strollers along the way.
Yeah, and this is a common recreational area, and this particular path is quite trafficated.
Yeah.
But
now we seem to have the sound on with Jari, so we can see how Jari's conditioning is. Jari, go ahead.
Adventure team, and I'm going to talk to Simon. So Simon, what do you think about the race so far?
The race so far has been quite hectic, with lots of teams battling all the time, but it's really fun, so that's what we like.
So how far are you going to run now?
We're going to run with the boat a couple of kilometers and then paddle a bit, run some more, and just keep going.
And did you have a good start? No problems with the ropes or the navigation?
Just some small errors. Not perfect, but not too bad either.
What do you think about the weather? You start raining, and do you think the cold factor could be an issue?
Maybe tonight and the following nights. Right now, I think it's pretty nice.
Okay, we wish you good luck and keep pushing forward. Right. So that was the Swedish team, Greener Adventure, pushing quite fast, and my camera guy have a good skills running. Right.
Okay, thank you, Jari. I suppose that is what is called the lower intensity level, where you can talk while you're running, and it seems that Jari is still good at. Yes. Okay, now we have Lina live on the top of the Hammarby Hill, so we go directly to Lina.
Okay, so we are now here.
Was live.
Yes, live. We're back live again.
Yeah.
Okay. The teams are now heading towards Hellasgården and Nackareservatet, and we'll have a checkpoint there. And then they will continue their packraft session through a system of lakes to Älta, which is the transition area number 2.
And given the choice before, I think that they will choose to paddle all the way down to transition area 2.
Yes.
Between checkpoint 13 and 14, where they are right now, good running, of course, as we said before. But later on, they will...
Between Hellasgården and Älta, it is probably better to use the packraft as it is intended. Yeah.
Yes, quite hilly terrain and harder to navigate on this map.
Yep.
I'd say.
And then in Älta, the teams will change, leave in their packrafts and jump on their mountain bikes. And they have a journey of how many kilometers is it up to Singer?
260 kilometers.
Okay. Yeah. We will try another. See if we can get Lina on the air this time. Okay.
Okay, so welcome back to the top of Hammarbybacken, and here we have.
We are ready all the time. Johan, continue to tell us about the mountain bike session here.
The mountain bike section is. I like the orienteering. They will cross through this first part of the Nackareservatet, the nature reserve of Nacka, which actually I heard a rumor that the father of mountain bike, Gary Fisher, was here once.
Wow.
And he said that the Nacka reserve is one of the world's top mountain bike spots in the world. And well, there are many mountain bikers that would agree to that. And as the checkpoints have been placed, it looks like they cannot avoid some of the good trails in this forest. Yeah. Of course, you will benefit from going on the gravel roads, but they cannot avoid the trails either.
No, okay. And do we have any teams with local knowledge and knows which trails are fast and which are slower?
I'd say Sweco. Marie has done a lot of
You've been biking a lot with Marie,
yeah.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, and I'd say also perhaps perhaps the Ad Nature team as well. Marika has spent some time in Nackareservatet.
And then they will continue out on the island of Värmdö, and they will make their way to Vaxholm, passing the island of Rindö. And these are quite long stretches if you want to swim with your bike, but there are road ferries going across here.
Yes, in the map they have a timetable for the ferries.
Yes.
Every half an hour there is a ferry.
Yes.
And of course, battling in the front of the field, making it in time to one of those ferries could
give you 30 minutes advantage.
Exactly. So if high speed wasn't that important previous in the race, it can be on the end of the beginning of the mountain biking.
Yes. And then the mountain bike section continues up through Roslagen. Yes. We will try again to go to Lina.
Okay, welcome back. We're here at the top of Hammarbybacken, and here we have Team Hagler Silva passing by, and we'll now continuing on this third leg, the packraft section, 16 kilometers, a mix of running, trekking, and kayaking in inflatable boats, where you sit 2 people in each kayak. And I think they were the 5th Swedish team arriving to this checkpoint. And if we take a look over to this big area, the nature reserve that the teams will be biking through later on in this race. It's well-known area for the people living in this town, where you can trail running and you can mountain bike and you can practice swim run. We have a lot of smaller lakes around here. I think that I've been seeing some of the teams practicing for the long swim run leg that will be later on in this race. 84-kilometer long swim run section, sometimes somewhere in the archipelago in Åland. And we are here at the top of Hammarbybacken, and as you can see, we have lifts here. It's a ski resort during the winter, and during the summer you can go downhill biking here. And this peak is about 95 meters high, and a well-known area for outdoor activities and uphill exercising. And we are here waiting for the next team to arrive to this checkpoint. I think it's somewhere in the middle of this leg, the third leg. And after this checkpoint, they will continue to a few more, then they will get to a new transition area where they will leave their packraft and jump onto their bikes and bike for the whole night. I think it's 230 kilometers. So they have quite some biking ahead of them. And before the teams went here, they have been doing a foot orienteering in the city of Stockholm, and they have also been abseiling down from the starting place, the hotel, Brunkebergstorg, downtown Camper, an abseil of about 30 meters. So each team member abseiled down, and when the whole team was done, they started this city orienteering section. And through Viking age style, they have picked up a rune stone in one of the checkpoints, and they will carry this stone throughout the whole race. And it looks like we will be waiting for another few minutes until the next team will arrive here. And as we saw when Hagler Silva arrived here, they're still having quite high pace and pushing hard. These first hours in the race are normally quite intense and great speed. Yeah, it looks like we'll need to wait for another few minutes until the next team arrives here. maybe I can tell you something about this top. Since 2016, we have been having the Ski World Cup here. They have organized an event here. So it's a popular peak for events. Over to the studio.
Thank you, Lina. We have some interesting things happening on the GPS tracking system. We know that the Estonian ACE adventure team are still in the lead, really closely followed by the Swedish Armed Forces. We have in third place Sweco Adventure. In fourth place we have the Greener Adventure team that were just interviewed by Jari Palonen recently. What we also can see is that the young team, Hamilton Adventure team, seems to have chosen to paddle the waterway instead of running on the parkway. And I guess they will soon be passed by the Finnish team, number 14. But so far they are keeping their 5th place in the race. What do you think? Is it possible to paddle faster than you can run here?
It's an interesting choice,
Yes.
Meaning that I don't think it's wise,
No.
actually.
And we will see what happens if I move the map a little bit here, because this is the checkpoint in. You can see the orange dot is a checkpoint in Källtorpssjön, and to get there from Järlasjön, which is the lake just north of Källtorpssjön, you have, I would estimate, about 50 height meters or something that you need to climb up from the water. And that makes the running section much easier.
I guess that they will...
Do you have any news about the Mexican team who was lost on Södermalm previously?
Oh, the Mexicans, they seem to be lost still. And since they cannot piggyback on any Swedish teams with local knowledge, they seem to be running all over the town, actually.
You see if I can find them here.
If you move to the central town and click their needle.
It seems like they are closing up on the checkpoint in the old city.
Try to click on the team. You can see their route.
We can here we can see where the team has been, and as you can see, it's not the fastest route that they have chosen. But I think we have an interview with this team, and perhaps we could show that interview now.
Jag heter Kalle.
Jag heter Marika. Och våra lagkompisar Jens och James. Ja, men den här utbrändheten som vi känner lite, den gör att det ska bli väldigt skönt att starta nu. Vi är lite trött på prylfix och nu vill vi bara tävla. Så det är positivt.
Men det har jag som en morot för hela den här grejen. Jag har en 2-åring hemma som är svinjobbig. Så jag tänker liksom att det här kommer bli egen tid lite. Och nu med packningen samma. Snart kommer allt vara packat och klart. Då kan man liksom inte hålla på att tänka på liksom, vilka snickers som ska ligga i vilken påse. Utan då är det bara att sätta ena foten framför den andra. Och det ska bli jätteskönt och avskalat.
Det låter väldigt mycket lättare än att packa.
Ja, eller hur? Det gör ju det.
Ja.
Mitt namn är Robert Lindberg. Vi tävlar för laget Team Haglöfs Silva.
Och jag är Björn Rydvall, 37 år gammal, i samma lag, och vi bor då väldigt nära varandra, båda i Umeå.
I'm Amanda Leigh Rankin. I'm 29 from the United States.
I'm Jorge Mendiola. I'm 35. I'm from Mexico. Our team is Tenec.
Yes,
that was a short presentation of Team Tenec.
Yeah, but you had a talk with them yesterday evening.
Yes, as I said, previously they've been racing together a lot in South America, also in the World Series. Done several long races together, and so the experience is their main main strength
yes.
basically.
And they still have 6 more days to catch up. And,
Yeah,
I don't know if that affects anything, but there are no 17th century maps in America.
No, that's correct.
No. It could be an advantage
Given
for the
that,
rest.
Assuming that the others have practiced 17th century's map.
Yes, exactly.
But still.
Okay.
Now we hope that they're not getting too stressed out by not finding, as it seems, checkpoint 3.
I would suppose that is more a mental stress than actually delay that is the biggest problem right now. For
Yes, of course, and of course the fact that they cannot piggyback.
No, of course,
because the Swedes have an advantage.
Yes.
That is to say.
Okay, should we get back to the mountain bike session?
Yes.
After the ferries to Vaxholm.
After the ferries, the route heads north towards Grisslehamn, which is the port where the ferries depart for Åland. The route in Stockholm and around Stockholm will be more technical trails or gravel, whereas north of Stockholm they will be able to go on bigger roads, gravel roads of course, but still speed will get faster north of Stockholm.
But they will probably pass there during the night, I suppose. And we also have an interesting adventure for them at the castle of Rimbo.
Yes.
Almost in the middle of the trek here. I understand that they will do a session in a haunted house and see if there are any ghosts in this old castle of Rimbo. Hopefully they will make it through there.
Yes, and after the...
so it is 230 kilometers long, this mountain bike session.
Yeah, quite long.
Yeah.
And also a lot of altitude, surprisingly enough.
Yes, there are no big mountains in this region.
No.
But many small bumps along the road. When they have competed in their mountain bike session, they will reach transition area 3 on Singe, Svartklubbens lotsstation, where the pilot is located. They will probably be there between tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening, the teams. So they will be quite stretched out by then. From there, they will have their first kayak session, where they will paddle sea kayaks across the Sea of Åland to Åland. As the weather prognosis looks like right now, it will be northern winds, 7 meters per second maximum, and it could mean a wave altitude of 1 meter. And I'm really glad that the teams are doing this in sea kayaks instead of the pack rafts.
Yeah,
I think that is a good advantage. It would, of course, be much more fun if the winds were coming from behind, but that's the way it is in Adventure Racer. The kayak session is 60 kilometers long. And then they will reach transition area 4 on Eckerö, Åland, with the post and customs house. And most teams will be there between Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning. What happens after transition area 4?
Well, then the leg that most of the teams talked about is starting. This leg, together with the following ones, are expected to be, or the following one is expected to be very, very tough. They are taking on a swim run course which is most probably the longest one I know of.
Yes. We have the World Championships in swimrun in Sweden called Ö till Ö, Island to Island. That race is approximately 20 kilometers shorter.
Yes.
And it has an altitude of 70 to 100 meters to climb.
Mm. This one will have 4,000 meters or 4 kilometers of swimming. So the swimming is not very, very important, but still. But together, leg 6 and leg 7, which is a trekking.
Yeah.
So will be very, very tiring for the feet.
Mm.
So this particular section of the course will be a key to success for many of the teams.
Mm. Yes. And after that trek?
After that trek comes another kayaking leg, going from Åland to Kymlinge.
And then we have reached Finland.
Yes.
Although Åland is technically Finnish, it is in some parts considered by its own rule. So it's almost like we're visiting 3 different countries during this adventure race.
And this is followed up by another packraft on small islands, and some participants will do this in the dark.
Yes.
Many of the participants has highlighted this as the main difficulty of the
navigation.
Yeah,
yes.
The navigation in the dark, small islands. You see the horizon. You cannot differ the islands from one another.
No.
The Estonians, very good at orienteering, said that they will use the compass, and like a ship, they will use the compass and the time they spend paddling.
Mm. Then we will hope that there are no currents in the water, because then they have a lot of deviation. It is very difficult to navigate in an archipelago, especially in the dark, when you can't separate one island from another.
And with a packraft. That is deviating from the course.
Yes.
And the last leg is the mountain bike in Finland.
Yes.
91 kilometers. This probably feels like being at the finish line.
Yes.
For the ones coming there.
The final spurt to reach Åbo or Turku, as it is called in Finnish. We have had some comments on our YouTube channels from Ava Moen, who think the flying reporters are doing a great job giving us insight about the race. And I can totally agree. It's really fun to listen to you, Jari and Lina. And also a comment from Tobbe Larsson, 86, who says it's really fun to watch the live adventure race on TV. Thank you very much.
It's not very often it happens.
No.
No. I've got the map in Turku, or in Åbo. This is the final one. It's also an old map. I hope that the Mexicans, if they reach Åbo, have got the concept then by then.
Åbo is Stockholm was founded in the 13th century, I think in the year 1252, and Åbo was also founded, Finland being part of the Swedish administration at that time. Was also founded in 13th century, but I think it was actually founded earlier than Stockholm in the 1220s or something. Now we actually so the last part will then be a short run session after the mountain biking. There will be a short run through the city of Åbo, 7 kilometers spurt to the finish in Åbo.
Deflating.
Yes. And most teams will... when do you think that the first teams will arrive in Åbo? Yes. We can wait for that question because we actually gotten hold of the race director himself, who has probably had quite a busy day. We have Staffan Björklund, our race director, on the line. Hi Staffan, how is everything going?
Well, so far so good. I'm still at the start, fixing. Still taking care of the start here, but as we can see on the live tracking, people seem to move pretty quickly, and I was really happy about the start. And we had a lot of people here, and yeah, that's what we wanted.
Yes, good. Did you manage to get any sleep last night, or were you working the entire night?
I slept a few hours, but I guess I probably slept less than the racers. I'm glad I have my camper van, so I actually slept in front of the hotel in my camper van.
Okay, nice. I suppose being the race director for an event like this takes a lot of hard work. Can you tell us a little bit about your motivation for doing this?
Yeah, so I've been racing myself for many years now, and I thought I wanted to do something for the sport. I've raced for several years and I haven't seen a change, so I thought maybe I should host a race myself. Then when Craig, the owner of the World Series, asked me, first I said no, and then I gave it some weeks of thinking, and I got back to him and I said, yeah, I want to host a race, and I want to do it between Sweden and Finland through the Åland Islands.
Ah, that's nice. Can you tell us a little bit about the story of the race? I understand you have been thinking a lot about the storyline with these old maps and the Viking villages.
Yeah, the story, there's so many stories to be told. We chose to tell the stories about the Vikings. You know, when I've been around the world racing, people have always called me the Viking, the Swedish Viking. And I thought that theme would fit really well into what we're doing now. But except of that, Queen Christina, she established the post route between Stockholm, Åbo, Turku, and St. Petersburg 380 years ago this year. So in a celebration of this post route between these countries, I thought maybe we should follow the post route and see if we can do it nowadays.
That's interesting. We were talking a little bit about that previously, but I hope they had a less stressful environment 400 years ago, because I think that they were carrying a lot of different people who were carrying the letters all the way to St. Petersburg.
Yeah, that's true.
And as I understand, this postal route stopped when the Russians took over the administration of Finland 200 years ago.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden the post office in on Eckerö was under Russian administration.
Yeah, and by that time, Russian was the biggest empire in the world. Because when the sun set here on Åland, the sun was rising on East Russia. So it was a pretty big country 200 years ago.
Yes. Okay, Staffan, thank you. We won't take up many more of your time. I'm sure you have a lot of things to do. Do you have any last comments or?
Yeah, I wish now we just have to cross our fingers for the crossing of the Baltic Sea and Åland Sea tomorrow. And the forecast looked good this morning. I haven't looked lately, but it said 3 to 6 meters per second tailwind.
Yep.
So hopefully we can do this legendary crossing.
Yeah, okay, we hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Johan, what's happening with the teams?
Well, the top teams have passed Hellasgården. They have probably chosen to paddle through Källtorpssjön.
Yes.
The Estonians are still in the lead, Safat being the second, and Greener Adventure number 3.
Yes. And then we have the crossing from Källtorpssjön over to Dammtorpssjön and the lake system there.
Yes. as you can see, as we guessed, Hamilton Adventure didn't benefit from paddling Sicklasjön. They are now behind the Finnish team.
Okay, we'll talk about more of that, but we have Jari Palonen coming in here in the broadcast in just a short while. Here we have Jari.
Det är du? Ja. Kan ni hjälpa oss att ta bort det? Så. Yes, då kör vi.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna do interview. Or, yeah. So we're gonna do interview with the French team. See if they can talk some English. Hi.
Hi.
English?
No, Juliette.
Okay, Juliette. So, what do you think about the race so far?
Juliette is...
Juliette, oh, sorry. So, hi, Juliette.
Hi.
So, what do you think about the race so far?
Oh, it's crazy. And... dites-moi les trucs à dire. I don't know. It's good.
So, this is Stockholm's highest mountain. So, I think you have higher mountains in France.
Yes, more.
Yeah. So, what do you think about your feet gonna be wet all the time?
Oh, yes, they will be wet. And comment on dit jusqu'à until the last the finish. Yeah. No, I don't know. Yes, I don't know.
So what, you're gonna carry the boats now, not paddle so much?
Yes. So, just carry the boat, but we prefer paddling.
Okay, I'm here with the French team,
yes.
And they prefer paddling. And we wish you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, we're following the French team here, and they're pushing hard up on the Hammarbybacken, the Stockholm's highest hill, and they told me they have much bigger hills in France, and of course, and they have chosen to carry the boats. Many of the teams choose to leave the boats at the foot of the hill and running down and pushing forward to next CP. And actually one team actually deflated the pack raft and put it down in the bags, but I think that's maybe not so good decision. So I asked about the feet, because when the feet are wet all the time when they race, they really get destroyed. So it's going to be a hard race for the feet when it's wet all the time. So that could be an issue in the end, actually. And if you sleep, if you take some nap, it's good to take the socks off and dry your feet. And when you wake up, put on some moisture, then put on new socks. And that's the way to keep your feet in good condition. So we have a French team here, and I don't know from how many countries represent in this race, but it's a lot, and there's some French teams, and they often do good in the races all over the world. So we'll see what's happened here in Sweden. It's hard to come to other places than home and perform good. I mean, if you're in Sweden and go to Brazil, it's hard to race. So it's the opposite, of course. So now we soon reach the peak of Hammarbybacken, Stockholm's highest peak, and many people live here. Use this little hill to train, and of course you need to do many laps up and down. Okay, that's all for me. Back to the studio. Fredrik.
Thank you, Gary. I am really impressed. I have climbed that hill many times, but I have never done it while talking into a microphone at the same time. We will have a short interview with the last couple of teams that I've been interviewing and see what they have to say. So.
Vi heter Hamilton Adventure Team och vi är, tror jag, tävlingens yngsta lag. Vi är väl alla i princip under 30.
I princip.
Det är du som fuskar lite där.
Mm.
Men när vi rekryterades var vi under 30. Så vi är väl från 26 till 30 år gamla.
Lars är väl 24?
Mm.
Ja.
My name is Cecilia. I'm 32 years old and I'm from Örebro, Sweden.
And my name is Jonas Andersson and I'm from Skåne, and I'm 37 years. Okay, our team name is Green Event Team.
Powered by Psykekraft.
My name is Pete Cameron. I'm 42 years old. We're from Canada, but we're currently living in France.
And my name is Leanne, and I'm also 42 years old. Our team name is wildernesstraverse.com.
Thank you. Johan, did you get a chance to talk to any of these teams yesterday?
Yes, I did. I did. I talked to Simon in the Greener Adventure team, and he was one of the team members that actually said that their aim is to win.
Yes, that's good to hear.
And yeah, they're hanging in
and they're
there.
doing quite well still.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And the Hamiltons is an exciting team, as we heard from Annika. When I talked to Christopher about what makes them special, he said that he don't know, because they have never raced together, so they will see what happens. They're going to try to pursue the race, having no ambitions more than that. And the Canadians, at last, they have competed one time before in Scotland, 2012. They were looking for a race to do together. And they thought that the Nordics would be a good alternative. They also thought that Swedes are good at doing arrangements, like organizing stuff. So they thought that this race was a good candidate for them for this year's adventure.
It's not only a well-organized race, but it's a really exciting race that would be interesting to be. Yes. And adventure racing, of course, is something completely different from other endurance sports.
Yes.
We will have a short interview now with Professor Mikael Mattsson, who will explain a little bit more about the difference between adventure racing for 6 days compared to a marathon race for 2 to 3 hours.
And in addition to this type of training, you also have to do strength training. So you can look at if you look at runners, for example, the sprint runners, they're usually quite heavy, muscular, and then since you have to carry your body weight, the longer distances, they are very lean, very small. So for example, marathon runners are around 55 kilos, the best ones in the world. But then you can't really have that low body mass and perform on an adventure race. So you have to have a more stable body to be able to carry the backpack. And also, if you are a runner, you just work with your legs. But the adventure racers, they got to work with their upper bodies in the kayaking, and biking has different types of leg muscles compared to running. So you have to have a lot more muscle mass in order to perform in adventure races. And also in the long adventure races like this, six days, you have to carry quite a heavy backpack. So you can see that Scandinavians are usually better. They're usually bigger, heavier than Southern Europeans, guys from the Alps, for example. And the Scandinavians perform better in the longer races, where you have to carry a heavy backpack, and therefore a bigger body will be the backpack will be a lower percentage of your body weight. And there.
Thank you. This is really interesting. Both me and Johan are really interested in physiology. We were just during this break discussing how we will feel after 3 hours of standing completely still in the studio with adrenaline and cortisol levels that are on the same level as when we are competing in our different sports. We will now go, we only have 4 minutes left of this broadcast. And we will go back to Jari and Lina on the top of the Hammarby Hill, where they will
hopefully have contact
hopefully
with us.
have some teams left. And
it looks like,
even though our broadcast soon is over, you can continue to watch and follow this event for the next couple of days on the YouTube channel and the Facebook flow and the Instagram account. And you can find all information on the niargames.com to follow this race.
Yeah, a phenomena which is called dot watching happens when you try to follow this race for a couple of days.
Without any sleep as well?
Well, yeah, but I find my work being a little bit less effectively done.
So you have 2 screens at your office, one with the GPS tracking system and one with your
exactly.
Excel sheet, yes. Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seems like the Canadians have entered the Hammarbybacken hill.
Yes, yeah. And we can see that the Estonians are still in the lead, closely followed by the Swedish Armed Forces. And now we have the camera ready at Hammarbybacken. So we will go to Lina and Jari, and thank you.
Canada, I think. The Canadian team?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay.
Okay, funkar micken? The microphone is working, all right. We are still at Hammarbybacken, at the peak of the hill. And teams still arriving, of course. The half of all the teams have not been here. So we're gonna end the live. So we're gonna end the live broadcast from here. And but you can follow the race on the web page and on YouTube or.
Yeah, I think the niargames.com and on the Niar Games Facebook site, the live tracking there. And we wish all the teams good luck on the rest of the course. They have quite some few kilometers left to reach the finish line in Finland later next week. So thank you so much, and back to the studio.
Yeah, back to the studio. Thank for us.
Thank you, Lina and Jari. You have done an amazing work standing out in the rain and running all across Stockholm and our majestic mountain that we have here in Stockholm, Hammarbybacken. With first it started at 88 and then it was up to 90 and now it's 91 meters high. Just before we close the race, we can see an interesting choice of which routes to take here on the positioning system.
Yes, it seems like the Finnish team is actually running instead of kayaking through the channel system. And let's see how Hamilton Adventure are doing as well. Yes. But this will be very interesting to see if they will benefit from this until transition area 2.
Yes.
But the question remains unanswered during this broadcast.
Yes, you will have to look that up for yourself, and we will do for sure, sitting behind our computers the rest of the day, or perhaps going out and kayak.
Yeah.
Or bicycle. That is something that everybody can do. We are closing this broadcast now, and thank you a lot, Johan. And
thank you. And
thanks a lot for watching.
To the control room.